right, so yesterday you came to school and picked up that giant envelope filled with all kinds of goodies. One of the goodies was a Ziploc bag filled with supplies. So I wanted to go quickly over what's in the bag and how we take care of it. So we have some basic supplies that you would have gotten on the first day of school if you were in the classroom too. Supplies such as markers, crayons, pencil, your pencil's in here. So when you're using these, let's make sure that when you're finished using them, they go back into the box that they came out of. And especially with markers, I always like to do the click test. So markers can dry out really quickly if you don't have the caps on properly. So when you're finished using them, you have to wait, push it down, and listen for the click. Did you hear it? All right, that's how you know the cap is on. Now, what happens if I'm using my markers and I don't want to lose the cap because it rolls off the table, it goes under the fridge? All right, so when you take off the cap, you put the opened end on the back like this, and now your cap won't roll off and your cat's not going to play with it or your dog's not going to chew it up. So it's right here and it's safe. And when you're finished, you can put the cap back on, listen for the click, and you know it's not going to dry out that way. So, and it goes back into the box. Now where you keep these is up to you. You might have a desk or a little workspace in your house, and that's fine. Go ahead and keep them there. I wouldn't carry them all over the house and use them in different places because that's how they get lost. So, also inside your bag, you have more basic school supplies like glue sticks and scissors. And again, glue sticks are one of those things like markers that can dry out. So you're going to want to make sure you keep the cap on nice and tight so that that doesn't happen and it's ready for you to use when you need it. Also in your bag is a set of paints. And I'm going to ask that you just hold on to these until we're ready to use them. I'm not sure when that's going to be, and I know you're probably excited to use them, but I would like to make sure that we have them available when a lesson comes along where we are going to use them. So sit tight for these for a while, and I promise we'll do something fun with them very soon. And you also have something kind of silly. You have 2 dice in the bag. You're thinking, what am I going to do with these? Well, first of all, I want you to keep them in the bag because we use these dice for math games. And there's some fun math games that we like to play all year long that require dice. So don't take them out and play with them and put them in a game or something. Keep them in safely in the bag. And finally, there's a whiteboard and a whiteboard marker. Again, same rule applies with the marker, making sure that the cap is on nice and tight and it makes that click. This is fun for practicing your letter writing or your number writing. And you'll notice there's not an eraser in here, but my favorite kind of eraser is actually an old sock, because you can put it on your hand and then you can wipe it off really quickly. So if you have an old sock at home, or a tissue would work too, but socks are more fun, then you can use that to wipe off your whiteboard. So I didn't include an eraser in there. So those are just some of the basic things that I wanted to show you. You can keep everything in the bag, or you can just set things out in your workspace. You also have your name plate too that has your name on it, and that's big, and that's great. That's gonna go on top of your workspace. You can use it to write letters with. You can use it for numbers. When we get into more complicated math, you're going to be using the number line and various things on it. So that's a really great tool, and have that sitting out whenever you're working on your schoolwork. But otherwise, everything else you can keep in the bag until we use it, or things like markers and crayons and pencils that we use pretty much every day. You can keep those out in your workspace. So I'm looking forward to all the fun activities we're going to do with all of these supplies.